Now, how about them damn Celtics?
We are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here Thursday, February 20th, after the Celtics win over the Philadelphia 76ers, fresh out the All-Star break, 124-104 win over the Sixers. 20-point win, felt like more than that. This was complete and utter domination on the half of the Celtics. They won, I think, every single quarter except the fourth. They won 36-28, 36-28, 28-18, and then 24-30 final quarter. But by that time, all the scrubs were in, and just a great way to start the latter half of the season.
Calling the guys at the end of the game scrubs kind of mean. Let's not pretend like the guys playing for Philly at the beginning weren't scrubs, because they were. This was a great win for the Celtics. I watched this on the plane. I'm in LA now. Shithole here, but that's neither here nor there. Just sitting there laughing. The guy next to me must have thought I was crazy. Like watching the Celtics just dominate. I mean, it was one of those days where they made all the threes. When they make all the threes, it's very difficult to beat them. But like this was just an overall incredible team performance too. Like Tatum pulled the strings. He was a puppet master today. People online have been calling him the anomaly. That's what it is, right? Not anomaly. They should call him the puppet master. Dude was just making everything work for the Celtics. Philly couldn't do anything to slow him down. They tried to throw extra guys at him. They would blitz him off of screens, and he was just finding the open guy. Like Luke Cornett was the beneficiary of so many Tatum dimes today. You just got great outings from everybody out there. It was a super encouraging thing to see after the All-Star break because the Celtics came out. They played like the team we all expected them to be, and it's feeling real good at this moment.
Yeah, Tatum was incredible in this game. He only had 15 points, he had 11 rebounds, 10 assists, had a triple-double. Again, only shot 5 of 13, 2 of 7, not the most efficient game in terms of scoring, but like you said, he did everything for the Celtics. He ran their entire offense. Everything he touched turned into a bucket, it felt like. And he played 34 minutes, which is the most on the team by a pretty wide margin outside of Payton Pritchard, who played 31. Pritchard, whom was just this was the like you said, you were laughing on the planes. There's only a few guys who I'll like watch and laugh. I was laughing at Payton Pritchard making some of these threes. There was one he hit, and I forget which quarter. He finished with 28 points and 4 assists. I forget when it was, but he like caught it and like got the shot up within like half a second, and it was just cash in their face. Like this was a laughable Payton Pritchard game. It was one of those where every shot he takes, you're just like, okay, he's just gonna fucking make that one too. Like it was an absurd performance from Payton. You're muted.
They needed it too. They needed it. He did have a couple makes in overtime, or not overtime, in the fourth quarter when the game was dead. However, he made 4 out of 5 to start this game at a point where the Celtics really needed baskets. They didn't struggle to start this game, but Philly did a really good job of kind of matching the energy. Like Boston went up, I think 11-5, and then Philly came back and made it close again. Pritchard was a big reason why they were up 8 points at the end of the first quarter. Like he was dialed the fuck in. He was just making everything. The crowd was devastated. Like you could feel any sort of hope that Philadelphia had in this game get ripped away from everybody involved, including the players, once those just bombs were falling from Pritchard. And this was such an interesting spot too, because coming into this game, the Celtics had won 7 of 8. Philly had lost 7 of 8. It felt like Philly's season was on the line a little bit. It's a little bit hyperbolic to be like, they cannot possibly make the play-in now. But in order for them to do anything to salvage this, where they would be anywhere close to where they had hoped to be in July when they got Paul George, they had to win today. They had to get started on the right foot. That would be the way to catapult themselves back into relevance. Instead, they got buried on national TV at home. And Payton Pritchard's onslaught was a huge part of why the game became the blowout that it was. Super impressive from a guy that's probably going to win 6th Man of the Year.
Yeah, Philly's ass. Philly's real bad.
How about Embiid? Let's talk about him. He's a fucking just who wants to watch that? People bitch about the ratings in the NBA and say that the game is dying and all that, and it's a bad product. He's why. He's everything wrong with this league. He never plays. He's always hurt, which being hurt, he's legitimately hurt. I don't think he doesn't want to play. But when he does play, he's out there making like a clown show out of everything. He's flopped today probably more than I've seen anybody else to this date this year flop. He was flopping Derek White. He flopped off Porzingis. He almost flopped into Porzingis's like lower legs when Al Horford was guarding him in the first quarter. Like, it's out of control. It's a mockery of the game. And the reason why people are like, I'm out on the NBA is because people are seeing this. This is a guy that won MVP.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was bad. There was a lot of flopping in this game, and it was Joel Embiid begging. The Philly got a lot of foul calls in this game. It didn't matter even a little bit, but a lot of the foul calls that especially Embiid was getting was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like that one
Leading up to halftime, felt like they got a lot.
Yeah, the one where he I don't think he caught Derek White too much. Like I thought that was a pretty nothing thing too. Derek White was a little off balance, but the foul that was right after the one where Derek White feels like he should have gotten a foul call, and B just ran into Porzingis and got a foul. Like it was
yes,
lame. It was super lame.
Clown show.
Yeah, it was cringe. But yeah, Embiid's not having a great season. Like you said, he's probably hurt, but it is what it is. Jaylen Brown quietly
he's definitely hurt. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Jaylen Brown quietly had a really good game too. Tatum's gonna get a lot of the credit because he had the triple double and literally ran the show. But Jaylen 7 of 13 from the floor, only 2 of 6 from 3, but 26 and 6, man. Like just gave you buckets, gave you a little bit of everything, did a little bit of playmaking, a little bit of rebounding. Jaylen Brown is back to the king of the I'm gonna make this tough shot in your face and completely deflate everything you're doing. Like that is where he made his money last year. And it felt like at the start of this season, he was sort of trying to stay with the flow of, I'm gonna take 8 threes, we're gonna play this style offense. But now he is the exception to the rule of the Celtics offense, and it works perfectly. And he is just back to draining these insane middies in the defender's face, and it's really fun to watch.
Jaylen was better than I thought he was. Eye test told me this was everybody played really great except
he was
Jaylen
rough
game.
At the start of the game. Yeah.
But then, you look at it, 7 of 13, 2 of 6 from 3, which is pretty good for what he's done this year. He hasn't been a very good three-point shooter. And then it felt like he turned the ball over more times than he did. He only turned it over 3 times. But again, your point stands where he is making the big shots. And that is what made him step up a level last year. That's the reason why he won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The reason why he won Finals MVP is because you could count on him to give you a bucket. And we haven't seen it as much this year. We started to see little glimpses of it leading up to the break, right? I think Jaylen really benefited from the All-Star break. He looked a little bit more physically engaged today. Right from the get-go, there was a play he posted up Maxey, and it was oh, it's fucking go time. He's not playing around. And he kind of just carried that over to an efficient night. And if you can get efficient buckets from Jaylen, you're probably going to end up winning.
Yes, 100%. Let's see. Kristaps, pretty quiet night, all things considered. 17 and 4. He did his job. He was fine. From 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 rebound. Shot 5-11, 3 of 6. He did good things in the spots where it came to him, but this really wasn't about him in this one. This was a Tatum Pritchard game, and Derek White, but we'll get to him too.
Luke.
And Luke. We'll get to the bench, but Porzingis was good. Like I said, he just kind of did what he had to do. We can lump in Al Horford too. Al Horford continues to own the city of Philadelphia. It's fucking awesome. He got booed when he came in the game, which I think is the lamest shit ever because Al Horford didn't do anything wrong. You guys fucked up the usage of him.
No, he has owned them. They should boo him.
I guess, but the reason they boo him is not because of he has played well against them. The reason they boo him is because of his stint in Philadelphia, and that was the organization's fault, not his.
It was definitely on the organization, but from a fan standpoint, this is essentially if Kyrie had left the Celtics but actually been good against them. He's just been dog shit every time he plays the Celtics. But Horford has been a Sixers killer.
I don't think it's the same.
No, I'm explaining why it's different. He's been a Sixers killer his whole time before joining the Sixers. He joins the Sixers, is butt ass, and then goes back to just being knockdown, lights out, lockdown against them after going back to the Celtics. They got the worst end of Al Horford no matter where he was playing. And that's why they hate him.
Yeah, but the reason the Celtics boo Kyrie Irving is because he said he was going to resign and then didn't. It's because he fucked over the team actively. Al Horford didn't do that. Al Horford didn't actively fuck over the.
He fucked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're fucking morons. I'm saying Philadelphia is a bunch of dumbasses who boo him for the wrong reason. It really sucks, dude. I hate Philadelphia.
Yeah,
the whole city is dog shit. But Al and KP, good night combined for what? 28 points. on quick maths, 9 of 18 shooting. Yeah, damn good night from your big men. 6 of 11 from 3 as well. That's great. Derek White, awesome. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 10, 3 of 7. We're getting the Derek White does Derek White thing.
Check the pockets
a lot more, which is great. So feels like the Derek White that we saw midseason slump is gone officially.
Yeah, just to go back to Porzingis for a half second, there was a 3 he made where I think it was Jalen gave him the ball with like a second and a half on the shot clock. And he
Grenade.
made it. I literally laughed so hard. Like
So
I started
funny. It was so
cracking
deep
up on the
too.
plane. Deep, had no time to really set himself, just kind of flung it up there and it went like bar down, clean, net didn't even move. That's the kind of night it was for Philly. But Derek continued, like his continued growth, his continued recovery, I guess, from whatever slump he went through has been massive for Boston. He's one of those guys, he makes the big shots no matter what it is. There was a point in this game, not any, like probably like 5% of people watching the Celtics game would have felt like this was a big moment. But Boston's like kind of going back and forth with Philly at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Like Philly's dead, but they're not completely dead yet. Like the casket isn't closed. And they're kind of chipping away like it was a lot more than 21 at one point, and they're down to 21. And then Derek goes in and like he scores a big bucket to kind of relieve any kind of tension. He created off the dribble. Like he had the ball the whole possession. He was just so comfortable being in control. Like I don't think we've seen that from him. Granted, this was a point where the score was very blown out, but still, it was still like an important moment for him to step up, and he did it. Not to mention his stroke is back. He's making all kinds of threes. He's confident shooting the ball. It rocks. I mean, he's just a joy to watch.
Love Derek. Y'all know I love Derek. Good Drew Holiday game. Drew Holiday didn't play the 4 games before the All-Star break. Returned to action in this one. Jalen also missed a couple games before the All-Star break, but he's back. Seems like the Celtics just need some rest, which is good. But Drew Holiday only had 8 points, only had 1 rebound, 2 assists. Shot 2 or 3 from 3, though. Made his threes. 3 of 6 in the field. Good. Played great defense. They did the we're going to guard Joel Embiid Drew Holiday game, and it worked. It was the we're going to play Kristaps off the ball. We're going to bother Joel Embiid by getting under him a little bit. And the Sixers just mentally crumbled, as they always do when the Celtics throw that look at them. It was good, fun to watch. I think it really showed the value of Drew Holiday, and he only had to play 19 minutes, 44 seconds, which is good for someone who clearly is needing a little bit of extra rest this year, which is fine. But this is a game where, I mean, I've talked about it a lot. Like the offense is going to slump for Drew Holiday. He played well tonight, but like it's not always going to be there. This is like the defensive value you get with having a guy like this on your team, which is it's good to see in like real time.
Reports of his death were greatly exaggerated. It was great to have him back. The defense, you could just see the effect that it had. Like one of the first things we ever saw from him was opening night last year in New York. They throw him on Randall, and it wasn't really something we were expecting to see. And the reason why it's so effective is big guys. One, Drew Holiday is built like a linebacker. If you've never been like up close to him, he's massive. He's a huge human being for a point guard in the NBA, especially. But he also has super quick hands. It's one of the reasons why he's one of the great defenders. Like he's been all defense and so on. And big men don't usually have to deal with that when they're in the post. They're dealing with other big men trying to block them up top instead of trying to poke the ball away as soon as they turn with it. And there was one that they called a foul on him that was like definitely not a foul. And he got him with like a rip down swipe and got the ball. And they gave him the free throws. But like that's the kind of different look that makes him have to think just a little bit more when he has the ball. Not to mention Embiid melts when he sees a double team. Like if you blitz him, this guy won an MVP by being like a dominant force that posts up, and he's a versatile player too. He can shoot the mid, he can shoot the 3 a little bit. Hasn't really done a great job of that this year, but mostly like he dominates in the post and there's nobody can stop him. If you just blitz him, he turns into a like circus clown. He has no idea what to do with the ball. It's incredible.
Yeah, shout out Drew Holiday. The Celtics always do a really good job on Joel Embiid, and usually it's Al Horford, and it was a little bit tonight, but it was a lot of Drew Holiday, and KP did a good job when he got switched on to him too.
That has to hurt. It's not even the regular guy that's bullying you; it's somebody else.
Yeah, I know. Brutal. Sam Hauser on a night where the Celtics made all the threes was 1 of 5 from 3. Didn't really do much. Had a couple nice possessions on defense. Also got dropped by Paul George, which is not as fun on defense. But then he got his get back because he got a 3 like 2 possessions later. But not Sam Hauser's night, but didn't really matter. It's fine.
How about Paul George coming out of the crypt? Guy was dead before the All-Star break, 2 points. All of a sudden, he could play basketball again when the Celtics are in town. Can you believe that? I'm not going to speak on Sam Hauser. I've learned. He's not dead.
Just a cold night. It's all right. It's just a cold night.
No, it wasn't.
However,
and he was taking good shots.
Fellow benchmate Luke Cornett, phenomenal night. 3 of 4 from the field, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. 4 of his 7 rebounds were on the offensive end. Had 2 giant in the lane dunks as well, which was cool to see. Great game from Luke Cornett. This was another. We're going to show you the real value of Luke game, and it was fucking great.
This is the kind of game that, like, I was watching it and I was like, somebody needs to make one of those Luke Cornett was a problem mixtapes, because he has some of like the most fun looking highlights where he's dunking through traffic, he's blocking shots, like he's just a behemoth at times, a great screen setter. You could legitimately put together a fun to watch Luke Cornett mixtape where he's dunking and then doing his dumbass celebrations after. And like, if you made a TikTok of that, it would go crazy. Somebody do it. I'm not going to tell Jack to do it because he will do it and they'll spend a lot of time doing it, but don't do it. But he was great in this game, and it just showed you.
Did he do a celebration in this game?
I don't know if he did one. I didn't catch one,
so.
but he's always celebrating something. He was just vanilla ice cream. He was a force on the glass. He had 4 offensive rebounds in this one, and I feel like 3 of them were on the same possession late in the game where it was Derek miss, then Payton make on a deep 3. Him and Pritchard like deflated this arena and the team. They ripped the souls out of the 70. They might have ended the 76er season. Payton Pritchard and Luke Cornett may have ended the season of the Philadelphia 76ers today. Think about
it. You love hyperbole.
It's not hyperbole though. Like this, it's a little exaggerated, but like this is like a massive spot for the Sixers, and they visibly quit in this game.
They got killed. But like, it is also how many games left in the
season? There's like 30-ish games.
30-ish games. They're now a game and a half out of the play-in. I think saying this killed their season is a little hyperbolic. That's pretty hyperbolic. They lost a big game. They also lost to the reigning champions in one of the best lineups in basketball.
They've been losing everybody.
Yes, but if you're going to get back in the race, would it be great to do it against the Celtics? Yes. As a 11 seed, is it realistic to assume like they need to win this game or they're dead against the now 40-16 Celtics? Probably not.
This is bad for morale.
It's not great. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but saying it killed their season, I feel like is a stretch.
It might have shut the cask on their season.
You said the same thing.
It feels like they just were completely dejected, which can happen on a single night and not be the same the next day. But just the way things have gone for them, something about this felt very major.
Have you watched other Sixers games? Did this look different to their other losses? Or are you just saying it because they played the Celtics? Have you only watched the games where they played the Celtics?
Oh yeah,
exactly. Then what the fuck are we talking about?
They had their whole big 3 healthy. They didn't have Lowry, to their credit, which Kevin Harlan so kindly pointed out on the broadcast.
Exactly.
He's excellent though.
Yes. How about Torrey Craig? Just blocking 3 shots in 8 minutes. One of them was ridiculous too. Like he came out of nowhere, like RKO Randy Orton out of nowhere for a ridiculous block.
He was mean. They were mean.
It was crazy.
The game was over, and he was out there like making people feel worse than they already felt. It was also like, hey, I remember I'm on this team, because I had forgotten. I was so like enamored with everything else that was happening in this game. I was like, oh yeah, like that was a storyline we were all paying attention to. Is that maybe Torrey Craig is going to get some more minutes here. And he showed you that he can bring like a unique angle to this team though. Like against bums and not against bums. Like he was out there playing with energy. He almost had like an enforcer moment where like, was it him? No, it was Nemi that went back and forth with Drummond.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Greatest rebounder of all time, Andre Drummond, by the way, on the Sixers team.
Indeed. I think that's about it. No one else in garbage time. Like Jordan Walsh, Kata Baylor, Shireman didn't really do much. Was there anything else in this game you wanted to talk about? Or I think we got it all.
I think that's it. Was there any? I feel like Tyrese Maxey is a legitimately great player. I think he
So
might be the
good.
best guy on the Sixers team. Not
He's
even
really
joking.
good. No, I think you're right. Especially this season. He's averaging like 27.
Yep.
He's unbelievable. He had 16, 5, and 7. I mean, he's a blur. He just sprints in your face. But good game. Good way to start the second half, I should say, the second portion of the season for the Celtics. They hit the 40 wins before 20 losses club fairly comfortably. They would have had to gone 1-4, is why I say pretty comfortably. They're still 5.5 games back of the Cavs, but a good win nonetheless. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of the Celtics murder of the 76ers season. You can also subscribe and hit the bell because we're here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game. And other videos are on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. Make sure you're here for pregame too. We do streams for a half hour before every single game. It's a ton of fun. Come hang out with the chat. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. We're there doing our pods and recaps. If you just want the audio, you can follow us. They'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review to appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We'll be reading those emails ahead of the next recording. Tell us what you thought of the game. I'm sure you're pumped. Everyone's pumped. I'm pumped. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at JacksonNBA. His TikTok is at JacksonNBA. You can follow me on Twitter at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.